I'm Ruben Diaz. Here's your ABC24 News update. Late this morning in Nashville, the state executed a man through lethal injection just 3 months after officials had to call off a separate execution because of problems with the IV insertion. Darrell Hines faced the death penalty for the 1985 murder of Catherine Jean Jenkins. Hines' attorneys were pushing for the Supreme Court to step in as Governor Bill Lee had said that he would not stop the execution. Hines' attorneys argued that his recent strokes and partial body paralysis could make it more difficult for them to give him the lethal injection. Allegedly, his last words were, "Tell my son hello." And in East Tennessee, the only woman on death row in the state is also asking for an alternative to lethal injection. Krista Pike's attorneys argue that her rare blood condition could make the injection painful and difficult. But the state's witness claims that Pike is a low-risk patient.
Does that change your opinion that you provided today at all, knowing that her platelet count has fluctuated so much over the past few years?
No. If they fluctuated from 700,000 to 100,000, I would have to say something happened. It should be some kind of event you could explain. But then going up and down 20 to 40%, and let's say if you average them all, they're 550 to 575,000, but you get 450 sometimes and 750 sometimes. It's just an observation. That's just the way it is.
All right, Pike's attorneys are asking for her to be hanged as the alternative method of execution. Her execution is set for September 30th. Opening arguments are expected to begin next week in the federal case against Meta. Attorneys general from 29 states are accusing the social media company of purposely designing its apps to be addictive to young users. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze has the latest on the trial and what comes next.
This is the latest high-stakes trial over claims that Instagram and Facebook were designed to be addictive for kids and teens. Jury selection kicked off in federal court in Oakland, California, Wednesday, in a case brought against Meta by a coalition of state attorneys general. They claim that Meta engineered its platforms to get young people hooked and illegally collected their data. The state AGs are seeking changes to Meta's apps for people under age 18, like ending infinite scrolling, video autoplay, and like counts. They also want Meta to tweak its algorithm to prioritize content that promotes well-being for young users. Meta claims that the damages could be as high as $1.4 trillion, the biggest penalty by far yet. Just last week, a New Mexico judge ordered the company to pay $567 million in a similar case. Meta says that rather than sticking to the facts or the law, the state AGs have instead decided to chase an outlandish payout, and it stands by its record of creating strong protections for teens. There are thousands of other lawsuits from families and schools against social media platforms, including TikTok, YouTube, Snapchat too. And a new Reuters Ipsos poll this week found an overwhelming 84% of U.S. adults say that social media can have negative impacts on the mental health of children under the age of 16. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
All right, that is your ABC24 News update for now. Thanks for watching. I'm Ruben Diaz.